Ranger Suarez turns in perhaps the best pitching performance I've ever seen out of him in his very, young career as a starter. But once again, the Phillies offense is stifled. This time by Max Fried, who gives up 2 home runs to Gene Segura and Kyle Schwarber. And still, Phillies had an opportunity heading into the eighth inning, down or up 2-1. Sir Anthony and Nick Nelson just came in and just, I don't know, blow penned it all up in this one. Gave up 6 runs in the eighth. Phillies fall to the Atlanta Braves 7-2. And once again, fail to capitalize on an opportunity which they could have, made some damage or made some damn headway in the National League East. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to a frustrating Phightins final here on the Edge of Philly Sports with your boy, Matty B. And as the days are getting shorter and it's feeling a lot like fall outside, boy, am I starting to lose some patience with this damn offense, waiting for it to kind of turn it the corner, a corner that I've been waiting on since April. And I'm starting to think that bus or that turn is not going to come. And if it doesn't come, folks, if we cannot generate any kind of offense of a consistent nature, making the playoffs is definitely probably going to happen, but we're not going to do jack squat in the playoffs because we just don't know how to hit the baseball consistently, or we don't know how to hit the baseball unless it's going out of the park. And you can't do it. You can't win on averaging about 2.5 runs a game in the playoffs. It's just not a recipe for baseball, winning baseball come October. And it's frustrating because it's every night. It's the same cast of characters. Kyle Schwarber, to his credit, he's hit 2 home runs this week, but what else has he done? What else? Bryce MVP3 Harper, or MV3, whatever you want to call him, Harper. What is going on with him? No one wants to criticize him. We're not talking about him. We're waiting for some magical switch to be thrown with him, but he has been non-existent since landing on the DL back in late June. Alec Bohm continues a swan song that began in Florida and now is carried over into Atlanta. I believe now he's won for his last 14. And the beat goes on. And we waste a gem from Ranger Suarez tonight. As I said, probably the best starting pitching I've ever seen him do in the now year and a half that he's been pitching in the starting rotation. So just an overall frustrating night, man. Frustrating. Walter chimes in when you can't beat teams like the Mets and Braves by trying to hold on to 1-0, 2-1 leads. Yes, and Walter, I could not agree more with that. Absolutely. Mike, this is a new one. How you doing, Mike? Welcome to the show. Says it's one loss, dude. Relax. Mike, have you been following the Phillies as much as I have this season? Have you been watching inside the numbers as much as I have this season? Mike, do you know how many runners the Phillies have left in scoring position with 2 outs in 2022? Mike, that number's up to about 505 right now. Don't tell me to relax, Mike. Okay? This team does not consistently hit the ball. This team does not consistently move runners over. The Phillies have also eclipsed over 900 runners left on base this year. Come on, Mike. Don't tell me to relax. Tell me a lot of things, man. You can tell me I'm full of it, whatever. Don't tell me to relax. I've endured 144 of these of varied results. But the one thing that's kind of remained consistent this season with this team, it's either feast or nothing when it comes to the long ball versus small ball baseball. You're not going to be able to do it. And since the Pirates game, folks, let me remind you of something. The Pirates game. Remember that game? It was the final game of the road trip prior to going to Arizona, prior to San Francisco. You remember that series, and the Phillies were dominating all throughout that homestand, and they finished up with the Pirates in a very uninspiring 5-0 loss. Well, since that game, folks, the Phillies have gone 8-10. 8-10 to include that game. Now, that's also including the trip out in the desert, where they got totally just pummeled by the D-backs. And then the very uninspiring unoffensive baseball in San Francisco. And then they came home, kind of righted the ship a little bit against the Marlins and the Nationals. But the Phillies have now gone 8-10 in that stretch. 8-10. And I made a personal little highlight mark in my stat sheet because I knew for some reason that Pirate game might be something we might have to refer back to. So don't tell me to relax, Mike. Tell me to do a lot of things. But when you've stared at this team and watched just about every inning, I ain't gonna say I watched them all, but boy, I've watched a lot. And I've seen time and time again the opportunities that this team has had given to them. They've not taken advantage of it. So don't tell me to relax. And actually, it's loss number 64. It's not one loss, 64. Walter hits me up with John Clark reports Zach Wheeler will start Wednesday versus Blue Jays. Yep, but versus the Blue Jays. Yeah, I saw him pitching off the mound today. Good sign. Obviously, Walter, we talked about this last night on the program. What will the starting rotation look like in the All-Star break? What will the starting rotation look like in the postseason minus Zach Wheeler or with Zach Wheeler? Either way, what's it going to look like if Wheeler doesn't have an opportunity to kind of bang off some of that rust? So he's going to get the start Wednesday. Do you think the Phillies try to go to the well with him two more times in 2022 before we start the playoffs, or do we just kind of ride it out with just one? I don't know. That's a good point. That's a good story, I guess. But it's a good sign to see Zach Wheeler throwing, because with the way this team is done offensively, we might need him to be doing 8 innings and 3-hit baseball, because it's going to be it might be one of those types of playoff series for us, either pitching or nothing. So, folks, let's go to the line tonight, because prior to the 8th inning, it was looking somewhat promising. I'm not going to say it was promising, but I was definitely kind of feeling a win. Ranger Suarez was just lights out tonight. But on the night, the Phillies would finish with 2 runs and 6 hits, and then Braves 7 runs on 7 hits. No errors, and once again, Phillies played a clean game. So did the Braves. How the scoring went down, the aforementioned Kyle Schwarber, who's starting to get maybe a little hot again. I don't know, but he's starting to hit home runs, but that's all he's doing. Sounding like Buddy Ryan talking about Chris Carter, man. That's all he does is catch touchdowns, but it's all Kyle Schwarber does is hit home runs. Tonight, he jacked one out to deep right center to give the Phillies a 1-0 lead in the top of the 4th. William Contreras, though, would follow that up with a game-tying home run in the bottom of the 4th, 1-1. And then Gene Segura will go yard in the top of the 5th to make it 2-1. And then, folks, buckle up, because here comes the 8th inning. Ronald Acuna Jr. would knock in Eddie Rosario with a 2-run shot to give the Braves the 3-2 lead. William Contreras then would knock in Austin Riley to give it a 4-2 lead. Michael Harris would knock in Travis Drummond to make it 5-2. And then Vise would double in William Contreras and Michael Harris to give the Braves a 7-2 lead. 6-inning, 8th inning, folks. 6 innings. And that's all the scoring is. The Phillies would kind of make I think, Verlin got a single there in the 9th, but other than that, that was all they could muster. Offensively, on the individual side of things, Kyle Schwarber 1-for-4 tonight with a run, a homer, and an RBI. Alec Boehm 0-for-3. That's right, folks, 0-for-3 tonight. He is now 1 for his last 14. He did have a walk, though. Bryce Harper, where have you gone, Bryce Harper? 0-for-4. JT 0-for-4. That's not good. Gene Segura 1-for-3 with a hit and an RBI. Matt Verlin 1-for-4. Munoz 1-for-3. Brandon Marsh 0-for-1 in the pinch hitting role. He struck out in the game. And Dalton Guthrie 2-for-3. I'm going to give my offensive player of the game, Dalton Guthrie. Because he's the only one who had a multiple hit night for the Phillies. I'll give it to him. Acuna Jr. Was 1-for-3 with a run, 2 RBIs and a homer. Dansby Swanson 0-for-4. Austin Riley 1-for-3. Matt Olson 0-for-4. Travis Drummond 1-for-3. William Contreras 3-for-4 with 2 runs, 2 RBIs, and a home run. Harris 1-for-4 with a RBI. Albies with a 1-for-4 with 2 RBIs, and so on and so forth. On the pitching side of things, as I mentioned, Ranger Suarez, a dominant 6 innings pitch, gave up that 1 home run. That was the only glitch in really just a stellar night's work for him. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He walked 3. If there's anything you want to take negative from his performance, I guess it would have been the walks. And he did strike out 4. Jose Alvarado pitched a good 1 inning of work. He ended up getting 2 strikeouts in that inning. And then Sir Anthony just comes in and just completely loses it. He in a half an inning, he gives up 3 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, and a strikeout. That's just about as bad as it can be, folks. And then Nick Nelson would say, "Hold my beer to that." Comes in and pitches a third inning where he gives up 2 hits, a run, and he did have a strikeout. Uh, Sir Anthony will get the loss. Good for him. He deserves it. He's now 6-5 on the season. On the Brave side of things, Max Fried, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned, 3 strikeouts or 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. McHuff, Lee, Chavez, who will pick up the win in this game, and then Iglesias also would come on and pitch for the Braves. And I guess on the Phillies kind of defense, well, actually, you know what? By the way, folks, that's how you get 7-2. So on the Phillies side of defense, or on the defense of the Phillies, they kind of get their back a little bit, so to speak. They were up against Max Fried. He was bringing a very gaudy 13-6 record with a sub 2.24 ERA to bear. I understand that, right? I got it, and it's not always going to be, pitchers who have ERAs north of 6. I'm well aware of that. But this team, the Phillies, they got to figure out how to get some damn hits. They got to, mix up the lineup, drop Schwarber down, do something different with this lineup, because it's every single friggin' night. We're seeing the same thing. And then Rob Thompson with the beginning of it all saying, well, you know what? I'm not going to give my starters any kind of role. You know what? We need, not starters, our relievers, any kind of role in the bullpen. Folks, we need to get some sort of like stabilization back there. Someone needs to know who their closer is. Someone needs to know who the damn setup guy is. I'm not saying Sir Anthony is not a good closer. I think he still is a good closer, but he was out there just kind of like chucking them up there. Everything was high and outside and over the plate. It was just a pitiful performance. I'm not saying, I don't know if he wasn't ready or he just didn't feel the moment, or the moment was too big for him. I don't know, but we got to figure these things out. And these are like systematic things that this team should have had under their control for months now. And this lineup, man, I know I've come on this show before and I said, listen, it's what it is. We've had to learn to live with the lineup. I just can't learn living with the same thing night after night. That's not working. Kyle Schwarber doesn't work as a leadoff hitter. We've known that for months. There's no end in sight with that. And then Rob Thompson refuses to alter that lineup in any significant way. Sit people down that maybe don't need to be playing. Why is Bryce Harper playing? Well, I know he's DHing, but why is he hitting? He's god awful at the plate right now. And don't give me that he's working on his timing. His timing is worse now than it was before he got hurt. It doesn't seem like it's getting any better. It's getting worse as he's playing along. So altering lineups, sitting guys that don't need to be playing, sitting guys that need to kind of take a break, establishing roles in the bullpen. Maybe that will help kind of regulate this stuff. But the inconsistencies of this team is mind-boggling, folks. Mind-boggling. And we blew an opportunity tonight. We blew an opportunity to pick up some ground on the Braves. We have 6 now left in hand. We got to win these games, man. We probably won't win the NL East. I'm going to concede to that notion right now. But looking back on this season, and you're going to see maybe they finished 9 games out, 10, 11 games out. And you're probably going to look at pedestrians, going to look at that and say, you know what? That team must have really been kind of bad or not that good to finish 11 games out of first place. But if you look inside this thing and you look inside the numbers, the Phillies have had opportunities to get themselves back in this race from the NL East. They've had multiple opportunities and they failed to capitalize on their opportunities. So it hasn't been a runaway to the letter of the law. They just have not been able to kind of be consistent and cash in on their opportunities. And tonight was another friggin' example of that. You get a great pitching performance. You have Alvarado coming in, and after they were doing some funky mound maintenance for about a half hour, he has a great inning. And then Sir Anthony comes in and just doesn't have it. And then Nelson, you're going to follow up Sir Anthony with Nick Nelson? That's the best opportunity you have, or the best combo you have out there in the bullpen? Come on, man. We are getting ready for the playoffs. And this team looked like tonight they were playing in a spring training game in the late innings, but giving pitchers opportunities left and right. I'm getting frustrated because I think this team is holding itself back. I think they got the ability and the potential to be really good, but for some odd reason, Rob Thompson doesn't want to kind of continue to turn the key a little bit, and it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. Oh man, Walter hits me up with the Anthony. Don't call me sir was terrible. He was absolutely horrendous, and we can Monday morning quarterback why he was left in as long as he was. But Nick Nelson didn't fare much better, did he? He didn't. Is that bloop double on him? I don't know. But again, to me, it didn't look like he was much of an answer. Let's go ahead and check on the out of town score, but I've actually looked at this in a minute. I'm probably going to get myself all mad. Around the major leagues tonight, Cincinnati is beating St. Louis 5-4 in they're headed to the bottom of the seventh. The Padres are now leading the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-1 as they move to the top of the fifth. The Dodgers are beating the Giants 1-0 at the end of the second out there in San Francisco. And where's that one at? And the Mets defeated the Pirates 4-3 tonight. So, just a bad night in general for the Phillies, I guess, as they weren't able to get any kind of separation. I guess that's the word you want to use. Separation. Got about the Brewers. Brewers and Yankees are tied 5-5 as they head to the bottom of the sixth out there in Milwaukee. So Phillies lose 7-2. And again, we can talk about the opportunities that they left on the field yet again. Aaron Nola will get the nod tomorrow night. He'll bring his 9-11 3.31 ERA, and he'll be opposed by Jake Ordonez at 5-5 and 4.13. First pitch out there in Atlanta is at 7:20 p.m. tomorrow. And yeah. So the Phillies' magic number still sits at 17, and depending on what happens out there in Arizona tonight, between the Padres and the Diamondbacks, maybe it goes. Well, it won't go any lower than 17 because of the Phillies' inability to win tonight. But just you kind of kick yourself in the ass for these types of games. And last night's game was a similar type of game. They're just asleep at the plate. This team just seems asleep at the plate, and it goes on for large periods of time. And I'm not losing confidence in this team to make the playoffs. I think they're definitely going to do that. But I'm losing my confidence in this team in making some significant deep run into the playoffs. Because that's what I'm all about right now with the Phillies. I'm not about making the playoffs and just being like, oh, we're here. We're going to go now. Now, I want to make a run. But I'm starting to come to the conclusions that this offense, that this vaunted home run machine offense, by the way, Nick Castellanos has now been given no timeline for his return. Not to say that it was, he was setting the world on fire. Rhys Hoskins still day to day with his hand injury. Once again, not to say that he's setting the world on fire, but the fact that this offense that coming into the spring was supposed to be this juggernaut of offense, and they've scored over 660 runs. I know that, right? But they have left just way too many runners on base. I mean, between the runners left on base in general and then the runners left in scoring position with 2 outs, we're talking upwards of around over 1,400 runners left on base in a season. It's just amazing to me. It's just astronomically amazing. And yet they scored over 660 runs. I can't make heads or tails of this. But until this team can figure out a more consistent, complete offensive attack and approach, I'm not certain that our trip to October will be a very, very short one, because you can't win championships when all you do is hit home runs. And when I mean when all they do is hit home runs, God damn it, that's all they do. All they do is hit home runs, and you can't win a World Series with that type of offense. You just can't. And it's a frustrating product to watch when it's not working. Sean hits me with what's up, Matty? Sir Anthony was definitely not on tonight. Yeah, no, he was not. He was not. And Sean, thanks for usual chiming in. He wasn't on, and it's a shame. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame that Sir Anthony, kind of not necessarily wasted Rangers' pitching performance, because it wasn't just on him. It was on the other 9 members of the team that were unable to score but 2 runs all night and, into the 8th inning. It's not all on Sir Anthony, but he obviously had his hand in that. But so did the offense. when they only scored 2 runs. So there you have it, folks. 7-2 Phillies. Another opportunity gone by the wayside by the Phillies tonight. 6 games left with the Braves on the season. 2 more left in this series, of course. Tomorrow, Aaron Nola gets the nod for the Phillies as they try to right the ship and try to get back on the winning path. And until we talk again, that's pretty much going to wrap me up. There's no point in me coming out here and staying on here and getting more and more mad. But I hope you guys are having a great weekend and a great start to your weekend. Oh, and before I go, I want to wish my oldest daughter, Kylie, it's her 17th birthday. So happy birthday, baby. I love you. And I hope you enjoyed your day. And God, they grow up really fast out there, folks. If you're listening to me, hold them close because they grow up real fast. So until we talk again tomorrow after the Phillies and Braves game, go Phils, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.